5 affordable fragrances that smell super expensive. We all know that when we're dealing with a lot of niche fragrances and even some designers nowadays, they can get to be very, very expensive. Not too many of us have that disposable income where we can spend hundreds of dollars for an eau de parfum. So what that means is that we are seeking more inexpensive options, and thank goodness there are a lot of affordable options on the market. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 affordable fragrances that in my opinion are fantastic alternatives to the original. I have put all of these to the test. I'm excited to share this video with you in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 inexpensive alternatives to some really expensive niche counterparts, and I think they're all niche in this list. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it again, all of these are niche offerings. And again, you're gonna be spending 50 bucks or sub 50 bucks for a lot of these alternatives, which is great, right? We don't want to spend a lot of money. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content and if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell. And also please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So again, we want to save money. That is the goal here. We don't want to spend a lot. And of course, the first one is a very viral fragrance, right? It became a huge hype. And this one by I Giardini di Toscana is called Bianco Latte. Now this one, it's a milky caramel, a beautiful gourmand expression. It's perfect for the fall. It's that sweater weather type of a perfume. And of course, you know, a lot of people who had put this, you know, on the back burner and they shelved it throughout the duration of spring and summer. Now is the time to bring this one back out. This is the best time to wear it. And it's also one of those fragrances that immediately put me in the mindset of fall. Of course, you think of toffee, caramel, vanilla, tonka bean, lactonic notes. This one is absolutely amazing, but it's going to set you back a nice bit of coin, and this one is pretty expensive. So instead of that, you can get this fragrance by Okja, and it's called That Girl Viral Vanilla. Do not get deterred by the name. It's perfectly unisex. This is such a beautiful rendition or interpretation or clone, if you want to be more explicit, of I Giardini di Toscana's Bianco Latte. It has that same sweet factor about it. The longevity on it is also really impressive. And I would say it probably matches, if not even supersedes, the longevity of Bianco Latte, which has never been the longest lasting fragrance. But to be honest with you, if you're going to get 6 hours from this, you might get 7 from this. So the differential is negligible, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for a more inexpensive option, That Girl Viral Vanilla is definitely the way to go. Now, this next fragrance, of course, needs no introduction. Aventus. Pineapple, apple, blackcurrant, birch tar, vanilla in the dry down, some florals, some woods. There's Club de Nuit Intense for Men by Armaf, and there's L'Aventure by Al Haramain. There's so many wonderful alternatives to Creed Aventus, and I own any number of them. Now here is one by Fragrance World, and it's called Nuit. All black bottle. It opens up with that same fruity, citrusy appeal with the bergamot and the pineapple. It has a touch of sweetness in here as well on account of the vanilla. I'm not really getting too much smoke from this one, but as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, this is Creed Aventus, right? I know companies are still making Aventus alternatives. It's just the nature of the game. It's a very popular fragrance. Even 14 years later, it's still selling like hotcakes. People are still interested in picking up either Aventus or that Creed Aventus DNA. So these brands like Fragrance World or Armaf or Al Haramain or whatever it may be, they're gonna continue to put out Aventus inspired fragrances. And I guess I'm not helping the cause by mentioning it in videos such as these, but of course, I still love Creed Aventus. I wear it all the time, at least a few times a month. You know, I have a lot of fragrances in my collection, so I can't always get around to wearing it as often as I'd like to, but it's so versatile. It's a Swiss Army knife type of a fragrance. All right, so here's one that really doesn't get spoken about as much, and I think for good reason. This one is quite daring. It's kind of hard to pull off. It's earthy. There's a lot of natural rose. It also has cypriol oil, otherwise known as nagarmoda. So it's a very spicy herbal rose fragrance with some earthy roots. And this one is Shem by Nishane. I know NEFS gets a lot of praise. This is Shem. It's dark. It's quite heavy. And I think for the smell alone, a lot of people will get deterred from wearing this one. It also reminds me of one of the leathers by Memo Paris. I can't remember which one, not African, one of the other ones, but it's very spicy. It has a lot of cypriol in here. And this one is actually very interesting. It's very expressive. It's very bold, kind of hard to recommend, especially because of the price tag. Now, instead of that, by French Avenue, you can get Sultry Woods. So this fragrance opens up the same way. And as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a Shem clone. Even with the colors on the bottle, green and gold, right? So you can tell, like, the brand kind of makes it easy for you. Even though I had a hard time finding it online, when I spent a considerable amount of time with it, I was like, oh yeah, this is actually what it's reminding me of. Solid fragrance. Again, easy to recommend because of the price, not so easy to recommend because of the smell. It's definitely on the more daring side of things. So try it for yourself and see how it works on your own skin. Altair by Parfum de Marly. Now, a lot of people will argue this is the brand's best autumn fragrance. Some of the others like Herod and Carlisle and whatever, even Haultain, those are great for the winter time, but of course sweater weather, vanilla, cozy, warm, rich, inviting, seductive, and it's silky smooth as far as the vanilla is concerned. It's really, really well done. Altair by Parfum de Marly. Instead of that, by French Avenue, you can get Liquid Brune. I think last time I checked this one online, it was like $49.99 or something like that. So it's either you pay that or you pay a few $100s for the Parfum de Marly. The smell is highly comparable. So again, really happy that affordable alternatives like this exist, especially for people who have tried the corresponding Marly and they say, it smells wonderful, it's just too expensive for me. Liquid Brune does exist. It's a fantastic fragrance on the market. Please check it out, especially if you're looking for something that is going to match your budget. Now, in the #1 spot, I have to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. And this one is called Italica by Casa Moratti. I have the small bottle. You better believe that eventually I'm gonna be upgrading to the bigger bottle because this is just such a beautiful, delightful fragrance. And you know, I'm gonna be publishing this video in the autumn, right? Or at least that's what I anticipate. So I saved this one specifically for the #1 spot because it's one of my favorite fall fragrances. There's toffee, there's milk, there's vanilla. It has this honey-like vibe to it as well. It's such a beautiful gourmand masterpiece. I don't call too many fragrances a masterpiece. This one is without a doubt a masterpiece. And I think I prefer it over Lira by Casa Moratti. And this one, I mean, if you haven't tried it, you have to try it, right? Don't even worry about the affordable option. Try the original. This one is absolutely incredible. However, if you're looking for an affordable option and you've already tried this one, so you have that frame of reference, that comparison, you know, by which you can sort of juxtapose the two. This one by Emir, E-M-I-R, it's called Vue Patisserie. This is amazing. If you have not tried Vue Patisserie by Emir, you are missing out, especially for the price that you're gonna get this one at. This one is incredible. Last time I checked, it was $44. So again, if we're talking affordability and the size too, this is a really big bottle, especially compared to the tiny little Italica that I have. But nevertheless, I would love to hear from you. What are some affordable options that you really enjoy? Have you tried any of these, either the original or the dupe after which, or the dupe of the original, I should say? I would love to hear from you. Drop your comment down below. And of course, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.